Hey everybody, I've missed connecting with many of you over the last couple of weeks. I don't know about you, but I took some much needed time to rest and rejuvenate myself, and I hope that you were able to do the same. And now I am ready to get back in the saddle and looking forward to continuing to share some valuable nuggets of women's health information over the coming weeks and months, as well as share a few new programs that you can look forward to and additional ways that you can work with me. So this week, at the start of this new year, 2021, I'm actually going to circle back around to talking about autoimmune issues and specifically some of the root causes for autoimmune issues and ways that you can support yourself naturally, and how I might be able to help you if you or someone in your family is suffering from an autoimmune issue. And my primary reason is, one, autoimmune disease is the most prevalent medical condition among women. It's astonishing. It's over 70% of women at this point have some form of autoimmune disease, and many of them have multiple. And so I've been seeing an increase instance of women working with me who have been diagnosed or are early on the pathway towards at least one autoimmune disease. And so it fascinates me to learn more and more about autoimmune diseases and the connection to a lot of the things that you've heard me talk about thus far: gut health, hormonal health, and nutrition, the holy grail trinity, I like to call it. And so I want to talk a little bit more about root causes for autoimmune diseases. Over the coming weeks and months, I will actually dig specifically into each of the most common autoimmune issues: celiac disease, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, multiple sclerosis, Sjogren's, Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, and a few others. But there are quite a few things that commonly underlie all of them. So I'm going to start with that generally this week, and then we'll go from there. So what is autoimmune disease? What is happening in the body? Well, we all know we have an immune system, and the jobs of the immune system and its basic level is when something that shouldn't be there is present in the body. The immune system identifies it as an invader, and its job is to attack it and to get rid of it and disable it so that it cannot continue to make you sick. Most of us know that. Inflammation is one of the key responses of the immune system. That's how you know you're sick. You have a fever, you have aches and pains, something doesn't feel right, you have swelling in the lymph nodes and glands in the body as the body is doing its job. In a normal immune system, this process would carry on for about a week or two and then be done after a week or two in a normal, healthy immune system. Now, in someone who has an autoimmune issue, one or more of the following three things are happening. Your T cells and B cells, they're like the soldiers that are designed to kind of attack those invaders and then create antibodies to disable them. Either there are too many of them being created, they're overactive and overaggressive, or two, there are complements to those, another type of T cell and B cell that's designed to shut them down when their job is done and regulates their response. They're not working properly, and so the immune response never stops because there's nothing to tell it to stop. And then third, those cells haven't been properly trained to identify healthy tissue versus unhealthy tissue. And so it begins to attack the body's healthy tissue. And so in autoimmune issues, you have one or more of those three things happening in the body, which causes chronic inflammation that just never goes away because the immune system is always on. And over years of that, the immune system and body simply becomes fatigued, and you start to experience significant symptoms like low or high functioning thyroid, significant aches and pains in the joints, for example, neurological issues, for example, like you see with multiple sclerosis and others. Now, what causes this? Why do we have this? Well, besides the fact that we're just imperfect humans, right? There are some really strong links from a research perspective around potential root causes. Number one, and if you are a client of mine, you'll know I've told you this always, first and foremost, gluten. I'm not anti-gluten just because I don't like gluten. I have a gluten sensitivity, but some people are fine with it. But specifically, the link between gluten and genetically modified organisms. The rise of GMOs, basically what that does is it increases the concentration of the amount of gluten in a given food that you may eat. And we do know that there's quite a bit of scientific evidence that links gluten to irritation of the digestive system, hormonal imbalance, and irritation of the immune system. And so now the body has to deal with a food that is more potent in this substance that is already proven to be a bit disruptive to those systems. Also, things like viruses and bacteria can be triggers for autoimmune issues, especially the Epstein-Barr virus. I'll talk a little bit more about that in my blog on Friday. The integrity and health of your gastrointestinal system. A leaky gut, we've talked a lot about that, and I'll share more about that on Friday as well. It can be a real culprit. The balance of the microbiome, the good and bad bacteria in the body, they have a direct correlation to helping those T cells and immune cells mature in the lining of the digestive system. And if that's compromised, then they're not going to be able to do their job as well or properly recognize healthy cells in the body from unhealthy cells in the body. So these are just a few of root causes that often people have one or more of. Over years of having these things creates an autoimmune condition. So on Friday, I'm going to share a little bit more about the root causes and some steps that you can take naturally to support the plan you may have in place with your medical doctor to help relieve the inflammation and address the root causes of autoimmune. And if you or someone in your family has autoimmune disease or emerging autoimmune disease, feel free to schedule a free health consultation with me. I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about what you've been experiencing and how I may be able to help you to find a little relief. All right, everybody, happy Tuesday. Welcome back. And I'm looking forward to talking to you later this week. Bye, y'all.